What is up, gang? We can all agree that there are so many people out there who are trying to reprogram themselves but simply just not getting the results they want. Today in this video, we're going to be talking about why hypnotherapy is one of the most leveraged tools you can use to reprogram yourself, and then how to get the most out of your hypnotherapy treatment. Let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, B-Livers, so the very first thing we're going to talk about is why hypnosis is merely one of the most leveraged tools you can use to reprogram your mind. So let's go ahead and bring over our friendly board. All right, so this right here, I'm sorry my circle isn't too sexy. I draw a really jaw-dropping square though. All right, so anyways, this right here is our mind, right? And since this is written, vice versa on your side, this is consciousness, this is our critical mind, and this is our subconscious. So everything in this universe breaks down to sound and or light, and what we can refer to as message units, right? And so every second of the day, every moment, boom, 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 we are taking in message units, right? They come in through our consciousness, and sometimes we don't even see it, even though we're consciously picking it up. We're not consciously acknowledging it because of what's called the reticular activating system. Our RAS is responsible for filtering out literally multi-millions of pixels in every single moment and only vividly showing us up to 200. So that means we are also legitimately blind to real life objects, peoples, places, and things if our RAS doesn't find it important, right? So we're taking all these message units, over multi-millions in every given moment. It doesn't seem like that because, like I said, our RAS. So that's coming in through our consciousness. Now, everything that comes in that we pick up goes down to the critical mind, and the role of the critical mind is to basically filter in, like, this is what happens to me whenever this happens, or I'm the type of person that this happens to, or I'm the type of person that does this, I like this, I don't like this, etc., right? It's assigning meanings to everything that you had consciously picked up, and all that information sits in here for roughly an hour and a half and goes back and forth, like this means that and this doesn't mean that, right? And so where a lot of people go wrong is they try to operate from the critical mind when reprogramming themselves, right? And so you can do that, but the thing is, it's like pushing a boulder up a mountain. And the reason being is for that is because this critical mind, especially if it's not what you're trying to reprogram yourself with, isn't in alignment with your already subconscious programming, it's gonna pretty much reject everything that you're putting in without a lot of intense repetition and just intense emotion, right? So like I said, you can do it, but it's like pushing a boulder up a mountain, and it's just a lot of effort for no good reason. So what happens in hypnosis is this critical mind actually shuts down. I don't know why I didn't use my eraser. Ugh. Anyways, the critical mind shuts down. It's still present. It's not like you're just like this zombie that people can be controlled. So you still have free will, but for the most part, you're not going to be rejecting and or deciding what this means. You're just going to basically take in the suggestion as long as it feels in alignment with your current desire. And it just is going to be a straight download to your subconscious. So as you can see, hypnosis is an extremely leveraged tool because it eliminates the barrier, the freaking China wall, into letting those new ideas get down to your subconscious. And as we know, our subconscious is, dominating roughly 90% of our lives, right? So that is why hypnotherapy is literally one of the most leveraged tools, right? And that is also why please do not try to reprogram yourself whenever you are not operating out of theta brainwave frequency, which is AKA your critical mind is not operating at its max capacity. So with that being said, now that you understand why hypnosis is such a leveraged tool and why you should definitely be practicing it if you're someone who is trying to reach a new goal, whether that be stopping smoking, reducing a fear, getting over insomnia, wanting to achieve more success, whatever that is for you, you want to be using hypnosis because it is such a leveraged tool. You're really working against yourself and wasting your time pretty much when you're not operating out of that theta brain frequency when trying to reprogram yourself. So if you have any questions about that, make sure you comment down below because this is extremely critical for you to get the most out of your reprogramming work, right? Like, I got obsessive about this topic and I endorsed into hypnotherapy because I was someone who had been consciously reprogramming myself, doing all this work, and I was wondering why it was literally taking me months and years to get to the type of person that I wanted to be. And then I started studying hypnosis and along with some NLP, and I just started skyrocketing, right? Because it all goes down to that critical mind. It's just basic fundamentals. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into now how you can get the most out of hypnotherapy. Number one, this is one of the most important things. That is why it is number one. And that is being with someone you trust. If you do not trust your hypnotherapist, you're not going to be able to open up to them. You're not going to be able to really receive the suggestions that they're giving you. And just to keep it simple, you're wasting your time pretty much when you're not with someone you trust, because like I said, if you are not in that theta brainwave frequency, you're operating from that critical mind, it's like pushing a boulder up a mountain. And so when you don't trust someone, you're not going to fully let your guard down. You're going to be operating out of your critical mind still. So it's like basically eliminates the whole purpose of hypnotherapy if you are not with someone you trust. So there are, I don't know how many hypnotherapists, but there's like probably hundreds of thousands of them, me included. So if you like me, you like my vibe, be sure to reach out about hypnotherapy and we can do a consultation as to how we can help you. But for some reason, if you feel like I wouldn't understand you or like you wouldn't be able to fully trust me, which I don't know why, but you know, everybody's different, definitely reach out to someone that you feel like you can trust, right? Or that would not leave your information with anybody else. It is totally against the law for anyone to do that anyways, but you get what I'm saying, right? Being with someone that you trust is incredibly important. Otherwise, it eliminates the whole purpose of using hypnotherapy. Number two is transparency. Now, there might be some things that we think like, why would we even tell our hypnotherapist that? Or they probably don't even need to know that, even though I feel like maybe I should tell them, but it seems totally unrelated, so I'm just gonna pass. They don't really need to know that. I'd just be wasting our time. And the thing is, like, you would not believe how related some areas of our lives directly impact others, right? So like going back to like the wheel of life, technically all areas of life overflow into each other. But say for example, anxiety, you're coming in to alleviate your anxiety. That's a lot of people come in for hypnotherapy for that reason. The thing is though, a lot of people experience anxiety due to low blood sugar, and that seems really crazy, especially if you know nothing about this. You just know I got a big anxiety problem, so you're probably thinking, why do I need to tell them about my diet? Or like, why do I need to make sure I'm telling them every specific detail about my life, including my diet? Like, that just seems so unrelated to my anxiety. The thing is, like I said, a lot of times anxiety can be sprawled from low blood sugar, and as a hypnotherapist, we're basically like doctors. We know so much more about the human mind-body connection than obviously majority of our patients. And so it's best for us, if you feel the urge to say something that the hypnotherapist didn't already ask you, definitely do that, because you don't know how important it is, since all areas of life definitely overflow. And something that you could be saying is a vital key piece of information for your hypnotherapist in order to give you the best results. So definitely be completely transparent. If you have a need, if you feel like you should say something even though it seems totally unrelated, definitely do. Follow your gut always, but transparency. Going into number three. Number three is related to number two in, you know, transparency, but it's a little different because it's 100% honesty, right? So we could ask you about something, but you like skew the results a little bit. You're like, yeah, I told them, but not like the full truth, or like full in detail, or I left some parts out. That's gonna hurt you in the long run, right? Because going back to number two, one little piece of information can be such a vital key point into helping your hypnotherapist take a totally different angle as to how they're using hypnotherapy with you, with the treatments they're using, etc., right? And so being 100% honest is absolutely critical, because you could be keeping something from your hypnotherapist that is really gonna hurt you in the long run instead of helping you, right? So being honest is a must. You must be honest about absolutely everything. Like I said, if you feel like you can't, then you're basically just self-sabotaging your whole hypnotherapy process, and you should just save your money. You only want to be with someone who you can trust, so that you can be 100% honest and transparent with them. If not, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. So definitely, that's why we started with number one. Be with someone you can trust. Number four is do the homework and embrace your new self. So a lot of people think that, okay, I can just go under hypnosis and then boom, I will just be reprogrammed. And yes, hypnosis does reprogram you on the spot, but the thing is, everything we do is either reaffirming or forming our programming. And so if throughout the week you're doing everything that is the anti-opposite of what you want, what we took in suggestion-wise during hypnosis, then you're unraveling all of the work that you did during the week. Now, there's also things that you'll want to do during the session. Now, there's also things that you want to do to keep that programming building on top of each other, right? Because like I said, every action is either reaffirming or, you know, putting it off in another direction. So there's little things that as a hypnotherapist, we have you do throughout the week so that it really helps you embrace that new being, who you truly are at the core. But you know, it's shedding away all those limitations, all those fears, anything that's really stopping you, so that you can embrace your new self. And we do this within baby steps. So it's not like you're gonna get bombarded with a bunch of homework, or it's gonna be hard and you're gonna have to just be on this strict schedule. It's not like that at all. We go into things with very ease, very small increments. Most people wanna go even faster, but slower is faster when it comes to reprogramming. I know if you've watched some of my videos, you get why this is already. But that is extremely important, right? We must do the homework so that we can embrace our new selves throughout the week, because if not, you are unraveling all the work you've ever done. Now, this also goes for any reprogramming work you did, right? You don't want to just reprogram your mind, do a little ritual in the morning or whatever, and then throughout the day you're embodying all these like low vibrational feelings, so therefore you're like thinking in a really limited way and then acting in a limited way. That's gonna undo any of the work you did. So it's very important that even if you don't seek out hypnotherapy, you're giving yourself little things of homework to do, little action steps each and every single day to help you continue to move into that direction. That's extremely important. Like I said, I am a hypnotherapist, so if hypnotherapy is something that you are seeking, definitely email me, reach out on my website, etc., and we can kind of talk about what that would look like for you. Last but not least is to celebrate the successes. Now, as a hypnotherapist, we definitely are making sure that you're doing this when you're with us, but we're not stalking you, we're not controlling you when you're not with us. So we're not controlling you ever, but you know, you get the point where we just can't hold your hand outside of the session. And so one thing that's extremely important is that we are always celebrating our successes, because in order to form any new habits, 3 things have to take place. There has to be a reminder, like a cue that's like, okay, when this happens, I do this, so that there's then the routine, like, okay, yeah, when this happens, I do this. And then there has to be some sort of reward. Like, humans do everything based off of pain and pleasure. And so if you're doing something and it equals pain, or there's no reward, and it's especially if it's something you don't like doing, which if you're reprogramming yourself, like, you're gonna face resistance because it's something new, you're gonna end up self-sabotaging. So if you're never rewarding yourself or acknowledging your successes, then you're actually going to slow down your process and potentially unravel it as well with self-sabotage, because you're like, oh my God, this is painful and it's not even worth it because I'm not celebrating myself. And so celebrating your successes, not just with hypnotherapy, but like literally everything you do, whether you are, you know, working up your weightlifting, whether you are, you know, an artist, whether you didn't want to clean the house and you did, you want to make sure that you're at least acknowledging yourself, like, good job, heck yes, like, you go, you rock, you're amazing, you know, something of that nature. It's extremely important that we are celebrating our successes. So these are the 5 things that you'll want to do in order to get the most out of hypnotherapy. Hypnosis is one of the most leveraged tools you can use to reprogram your mind. If you're not already using this, what are you doing? You are not leveraging your time whatsoever. And like I said, if you are looking for a hypnotherapist, definitely reach out to me. You can have a consultation, talk about what that is, how the treatment would be, and we can even go a mini session so you can experience it yourself. Anyways, with that being said, that's all I have today. Ask me any questions that you have down below. I'm more than happy to help always. I love you guys so much. And as always, dream big, live large, and be live. Bye.